Good morning, everyone. My name is Joshua Copher. I'm a registered nurse and I am certified in neonatal intensive care. I am a previous NIU graduate, which is kind of what led me to becoming a nurse educator or a future nurse educator. When I was at NIU, I was approached by Dr. Gia Chen and a now retired Mary Radicki, and they asked me if I wanted to be a MedSurg 1 tutor. And I thought to myself, absolutely not. I am not going to tutor. I have so much going on, clinicals and classes and all of these things that absolutely must be taken care of. I've got to get my degree. And I just couldn't even imagine myself taking on another role. At that point, I was already serving as the snow treasurer. I was also heavily involved in the curriculum committees for the School of Nursing and so many other things that I just had my hands in, and I was like, no way. But I ended up taking it because I could never really keep myself too bored. So I took on that role and I absolutely fell in love with it right away. I thought that this is such a powerful movement for me, not only for myself, but for also my peers. I was able to guide them and reinforce content in a way that you can't really do in a didactic setting because there just isn't enough time for those questions and elaborations and other things because you kind of are just moving through the content very quickly. So I just was helping myself and it felt like so much studying, and I just loved the connection with the students especially. And really that is kind of what fueled me to kind of pursue this path. On top of that, as working in the NICU, I started to precept NIU students who would come onto our unit, like our professional student nurse interns, as well as NIU capstone students who are working on getting into the profession that they would like to be in. All of that combined experience really led me to want to do this. And so I just kind of threw myself into it, not even a year outside of school. So yeah, that's really my background. And I just really appreciate the opportunity because I think that education is such an opportunity for us to kind of leave a legacy. A lot of nursing, we talk about leaving legacies, and that could be with patients, but really education is, I feel like, even more so, because when you're able to transfer your knowledge and your caring spirit, which all of us, or I should say most of us, have as nurses, that kind of fuels the next generation into providing safer care, professional care, more structured and closer to the golden standard care. And that's really what I want to pursue as a future nurse educator. Something that I have always admired and something that I was able to really see and kind of not elaborate, but kind of pull apart from the teachers at NIU was that they all just have this tender, caring spirit, and they just want us to understand and learn and just kind of open up their experience and say, this is what I have, take what you want, take what you need, and further out and go on and make your own story. And I feel like to be a great educator, it really takes a combination of experience and spirit. You really just have to have both. You can have experience, you can have clinical expertise, you can have all of those things, but if you don't have the drive and the spirit and the want to further the profession itself, then really I don't know that you have much to offer as an educator, because the students aren't going to be receptive to you. Your peers as educators are probably not going to be very fond of you. And just so many things that would affect your ability to be a proficient educator. So I really feel like it goes hand in hand. Some nurses have incredible spirit and they just know and they just have so much good and strength, but they don't have the content expertise. And honestly, I feel that's kind of where I'm at right now, because while I've been practicing for 2 years, I have the spirit, I have the drive, I have all the things, but I don't have the content expertise quite yet. So I will continue to work on that and continue to grow. But that's another reason why, as a future nurse educator, I'm not jumping into the education role right away. I'm continuing on at the bedside, as you've probably seen from my introductory post in our discussion boards. I'm in this because I want to learn more. I'm not into this so that I can get into a new role. I'm going to continue to stay at the bedside. I think that is a foundational thing. You have to have that clinical experience to be a proper and proficient educator. So yeah, and as a future nurse educator, when we're going into these new parameters of nursing, and not even just nursing, I've talked to this with several of my peers. The world is changing all the time. We know this with our patient populations, with our peers, with our students, and all of the people that we encounter. I think COVID has a huge impact on that, but that kind of put it to the forefront that, hey, not everyone learns the same. Not everyone is going to continue to learn the same, because now COVID's messed everyone up. And I think that's something that we have to be attentive to. Something that I talked about when I was at the School of Nursing, functioning as one of the lead tutors, was that we have social determinants of health, but we also have social determinants of education. Are we doing things that are inhibiting people based on their socio-political parameters, and also economic stressors and cultural things? Are we putting up barriers in education that are not allowing students to get what they need? And so I started to conversate with Mary Rudnicki and say, social determinants of education is such a real thing. Transportation, people struggle to get to and from clinical. They struggle to get into and from tutoring sessions if they're in person. We have so many different new things that we can really just take advantage of. And I feel as education, sometimes we get no, we have to do it this way. This is the way. This is what it's always been done as. This is what we got to do. And we do that in nursing too, and we got to stop that. The new ways are important. The old ways are important, but we got to find somewhere to meet in the middle so that we can better the nursing profession, the students that are coming out of the nursing schools, and boosting up our peers as we go through. So that has always been a big part of my ideology as a nurse educator. I want to be able to, as I tell my parents and my peers at the NICU, I always want to be the nurse educator or the nurse that can meet parents, families, students, peers where they're at. I don't need to come at you with all of this knowledge and all of these things and just make a fool of myself because I'm just yap in a way. But it's really important for me to meet you where you're at, address your needs in the way that you can understand, and really broadening my spectrum so that I'm not just teaching one population. I am able to broaden and teach multiple different people, multiple different areas, multiple different life experiences, because no one is the same. So thank you for listening in on my little TED Talk here. I could probably talk about this topic for 20 more hours, but I appreciate you all listening in, and I hope you have an excellent day. Take care. Bye.